Hello, my name is Anne and welcome to a Tobyknits Podcast, episode 134, and I'm so excited because my dad will be here and my brother in about 3 hours. We are feverishly cleaning the house. We were at the trailer yesterday for the day and the kids come up to visit and Tristan had a ball at the park and it was a lot of fun. We had really enjoyed having them over. And we had a nice restful afternoon to relax. And then this morning we woke up, got ourselves all organized and left to come home and clean the house. And that's what we've been doing. And it is a bit chilly today, although it's nice and sunny out. But yeah, so we've been super busy getting all ready and prepared. And yeah, oh, I can't wait to see them. It's gonna be so much fun. I don't think I'll do a video next week, just by the by, because we're going to be super busy doing stuff, but I will take lots of videos and lots of photos. And when I do come back in about 2 weeks, then you'll see everything then. It'll be such fun because we're going to New York City too, don't forget. Yes, on the train. Yes. Anyway, breathe. Let's find out what I've been working on this past week. There's been quite a lot of knitting, quite a lot of quilting. Yes, I got back to doing a lot of quilting because I got a new machine. I think I told you the story, but I'm not sure. My machine, so for, I would say, well, definitely the 8-9 weeks I was sick, and probably a month or so before that, I kind of lost my quilting mojo. It's so cold in the basement and so dark down here. I mean, I have a little fan heater, but it's not that warm. So in the wintertime, I didn't want to come down, you know. I was quite happy to stay upstairs and knit and watch TV. So I didn't know quilting over the winter. Let's put it that way. Well, now that it's got warmer and it's nice down in my basement, I wanted to get back. And then, of course, so I started sewing and then my sewing machine broke. So I took it in to get fixed and they said, oh, there's a fuse blown on it. But in order to fix the fuse on the board, you have to replace the entire board, which would be $300 plus. Well, by the time you added all their time to fix it and how long it was going to take them to get the board from Singer in the first place and all the other rigmarole that would go on with it, it was going to end up costing more than the machine did. So I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. So my husband made a few phone calls, was able to get back some of the money for the machine. So I bought a new one. I paid a lot less. I love it more. Yes. It's a Brother and it's a quilting machine. So it came with all kinds of different feet, including the walking foot, the free motion quilting foot, a really cool 1/4-inch foot. And anyway, I just love it to bits. It's quieter, it's smoother. I love it. So it got me back into my sewing mojo. So before we get into the knitting, why don't I just show you what I've worked on quilting wise for the last week or two. We'll start off with the quilt that I made for my dad. This was the very first Cotton Cuts puzzle mystery quilt I ever made and got me hooked on them. I've just finished number 2 and I'm on number 3 right now, but take a look at this. It's gorgeous. I made it for my dad and I'm so excited to give it to him. Okay, so here it is. This is the finished quilt for my dad. This was a Cotton Cuts quilt, the very first one I ever did. And isn't it gorgeous? The fabric is beautiful and the colorway was called Dorothy. And I made it for my dad because my mom's name was Dorothy. And I loved these gorgeous pastel-y colors, then with these big pops of blue and red. And I thought it was just a gorgeous quilt. And of course, when you're making this every month from your little pre-cut packages, you have no idea what it's going to look like because you're not necessarily making this big one square. We could have just made this part of it or this part of it. They're all different. And I also put this on for my dad. Stitched this on this morning. And the backing is just this gorgeous blue. So this does, I think it's 45 by 60, but it will fit on. This is a queen size bed. This is where he's gonna sleep. And he could also fold it in half and then just put it along the bottom of the bed as a bed runner if he wants when he gets it home. So yeah, this is the lovely Cotton Cuts Dorothy quilt I made for my dad. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I almost want to keep it myself. But anyway, really I'm very happy. I actually pieced it all over the 10 months that you do with the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mysteries. And then I let it sit for a while because I didn't know what backing I wanted. I never buy backing at the same time as any kits come out or puzzles or sew-alongs. I never buy the backing because I never quite know how I want to actually finish it and what backing I want on it. So I let it sit for a good 6 months before I decided on the type of backing I wanted. And I just bought, I think it was a 45-inch wide, regular, you know, sewing cotton background. And I don't even remember the name of the designer. I feel like it was a Free Spirit, but I'm not sure. So I bought that and had it for a while before I sewed it together because they're never, quite often it might be wide enough, but they're never long enough. So you have to end up cutting it and then sewing the two pieces together to make it wide enough or long enough. So then I did that. Then I found out that my local sewing shop, Taylor's in Brockville, had a long arm and was offering long arm. And I've done some quilting myself on smaller projects, but this was a special one for my dad. And I didn't want to rush it. And I didn't want to mess it up. And it's really hard to get a big quilt under a small domestic sewing machine. So I bit the bullet, sent it to them to do. They did a fabulous job. It was not as much as I thought it was going to cost, which is even better. I love every second of it. And then my favorite part is putting the binding on. They even trimmed it all down ready for me to put the binding on and gave me the leftover fabric and the batting. So I was super thrilled. If you need to get a quilt quilted and you live near Brockville, Ontario, take it to Taylor's. And then so then I was working on that, got it all finished and ready. So I really enjoyed it. Sewed all the binding on myself by hand and loved it. Anyway, it's all done, it's all ready. Then I worked on two other things that I'd obviously left for months and needed to catch up, which were continuing on with my quilting theme, because I have done quite a bit this last week or two. I got a brand new sewing machine and I started back on these blocks because I was so far behind with them. So this one was the first one, and this is called Around the Kitchen Table, and it's a mystery. Each month we got a different block. Of course, we didn't know what it was, and a story that came with it. And so this is the kitchen table itself. And then the narrator was telling stories about, to her granddaughter, I think it was, about all the different things that happened while they were sat around the kitchen table. And then we did these blocks. I think these were next. So I had done 3 of those. I think they're pinwheels. Then block 3 was this one, which is a pot of strawberry jam. That was fun to make. This one was the 4th block, and it was super fun to make. This is the one I got back into doing. I'd done the other 3, but left them for ages. And this one I got back into, which was block 4, because it's all paper piecing, and I've never done that before. Foundation paper piecing, is that what they call it? Anyway, this was super fun. And then these were the last 2 I just did. And these are very pretty. We had to make 2 of them. And we had to make 26 of these fillers. So I'm still a bit behind. I still have to catch up. I think they are on block 9. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got to do 6, 7, 8, and 9 to catch up. But that's kind of looking fun. And I was using all kinds of different fabric, but one of my main fabrics was the Laurie Holt fabric because it reminded me of a farmhouse. And then the other thing I've been working on are my designer mystery block of the months from Packwater Shop. So I've been concentrating on these 2 for my quilting. So I have done quite a few of the blocks here. We had to make a bunch of these and from the finishing kit, and we had to make a bunch of these from the finishing kit. And then these are some of the block of the months. There's one there. I think that was the very first one we did. So this is going to be a huge quilt when it's done. So I have 3 more to catch up on, and then the final one is on the way to me, and then that will be finished. So yeah, around the kitchen table is this really cool quilt. I don't know if you can you might be able to still get in on it, but you'd have to buy the full year and just catch up. But there is a new one coming, I know that for sure. And what you do is every month you get, it's actually very unique. You get a puzzle, you get a piece of a quilt block to make, and it is a quilt block. It's not a puzzle like the other one was. It's definitely a block. Some of it is paper piecing, which I'd never done before. Some of it is just regular piecing. Some of it is applique, and so on. And every month you get this new block to make, plus you get a chapter of a story. Now it doesn't necessarily relate that the story is what the block will be, but the whole premises of the quilt is the story, I think. But I don't know because we haven't finished it. And then there's also little puzzles, actual like word searches or something like that each month too to take part in. So, and you can win prizes. Anyway, so that is fun. And then of course the other is the Packwater Shop Design a Mystery. And that is a monthly block of the month that you get your blocks with the fabric, and then you just make it, and it's 12 by 12 inch, I think, block. But then you can get the finishing kit, which I did, which is more expensive. And then they give you the actual layout that you would put all the blocks into with all the extra fabric that you'd need to make that quilt. So of course I was behind on all that too. So I've been catching up on that and catching up on the kitchen mystery. But anyway, that's the quilting. I'm sure you knitters weren't really bothered about the quilting. I may have to bring Quilty Fun back on Fridays if I'm going to keep quilting as much as I have been doing. So let's get to knitting. That's the most important part. So I did about 5 things. One of the things I did not work on was the dishcloth, because I'm just going to put it straight out there. I'm fed up doing dishcloths now. I'm not enjoying the cotton, and I just don't want to do them anymore. So I don't think I will. yeah, said it. There you go. I've done enough now. I think I've made 5 or 6. So I'm going to leave the dishcloths. If you guys still want to do a monthly dishcloth and post them in the Tobyknits and Friends group, go ahead. I think it'll be fun to see what you're doing. But I don't really think I wanted to keep doing them. The socks, however, for sure. So let's start with the socks. The May sock, which is in the little Watson bag, is coming along lovely. Oh, that's not the right one. This is the Beachcomber. Oh, this one in the Cardigan bag. I've got that many bags and that many projects. I don't know which is which. Yes, with the May colorway, which is Lily of the Valley. So I had done one. As you know, that was the first one that I did. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. Isn't that cool? I love the way it does that. And this is twisted rib all the way up. And then you've got these lovely little holes. And then the pattern coming up is just regular plain. Back is plain. And it's just a regular heel flap and gusset. So that was the 1 foot. Now, what you had to be careful of with this one is there is a left and a right. And it makes a difference when it comes to the heel flap and the way the pattern is running. Because, for example, the pattern is running this way on this one. On the other, I think it goes up that way. So when you put your feet together, you get a little pattern. So I have done the 25 rounds that we had to do for the cuff because they're shorties, and then straight into the heel flap and turn. And I've just completed that. There's my heel turn. There's a heel flap. And now I've just done the first round of the gusset. So this one is coming on. These are on 2.25 needles. I typically don't use 2.25 needles, but I thought it would show up, because I normally use 2.25, but I thought it would show up the twisted rib better and the pattern on the front. Plus, I think it did call for 2.5. Anyway, but the funny thing is, I don't like the cord on this all that much. These are Knit Picks, Knit Pro, Knitter's Pride. But I really do love these needles. And I don't know if I love them because they're 2.5 or the tip. I'm not sure. But I love the needles. This, every now and again, I have to keep soaking it because it gets very twisted and can be annoying. But those are coming on fabulous. So those are our May socks in our group, and they're really coming on well. Back to my Watson bag and the Beachcomber socks, which are from the Bakery Bears, K. Jones. These are them. Yes, I forgot a shell. Don't care. But these are lovely. Really love this pattern with the little shells here and the other shells there. And then somebody said when the shells are together, because this is 2 sets of shells, they actually look like mermaid tails or dolphin or whale tails, which they do. So this is my socks. The cuff is very different. It's not your regular because it all rolls into some of these parts here. And the back is just plain all the way. This yarn is my Sandy Beach color that I dyed, and I haven't put it in the shop yet because I don't know where the two, because I only dyed this for me. This is on a BFL base, Blueface Leicester, which I'd never used before. So I wanted to see how they knitted up and how they felt. And it is definitely different. It is a little bit fluffier than my regular 80-20. This is also 80-20, but instead of being 80% merino, 20% nylon, It's 80% blue-faced Leicester, 20% nylon. Anyway, and on the sock 2, that's as far as I have got. I just started on the cuff, so I haven't really got far with this one. And these are on my Knit Picks wood needles, 2.25. I love these. So yeah, comment below if you would like to see this colorway in the shop for sale, in my Etsy shop, because I will dye some more up and on that BFL base if you're interested. The other sock I have been working on in the Netherwood bag is, oh, and I got this, I have one finished. Yes, have I started the other one? No, I don't think I did. No. So this is the Shadow Box socks, and these are from Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. And these are her, I joined this because I love sock making. And these are her Handmade Sock Society. So what that is, it just started in May, and you sign up, I think it was $18, and you get 6 sock patterns, 1 a month. And they're a mystery until that month. Like, so the next one will come out June the 1st or 2nd or something, and we don't know what it is until then. But this is the one for May. And these are called the Shadow Box. And it's a really interesting pattern. And I've not done one like this before where the main stitch was the pearl, because it's all pearl other than the one knit stitch through the back loop kind of thing. And then there's obviously all these little holy, I think it's a, is it a 6? Yes, 6-row repeat. But anyway, it's super nice. And then the toe is just the regular toe. The back is, obviously the foot is straightforward knitting, and then the heel flap is the regular one, and then the back there. It's kind of funny when you see it as a sock. Let me just take it off my hand, because all my sock blockers are upstairs. It looks funny because the twisted rib and the pearl suck it in, so it makes it thinner than it really is. These I did on my 2.25 Chow Goes. But it fits lovely. It really does. I'll put a picture here of what it looks like on my foot. It fits lovely. So I haven't cast on the second one yet, but I will. I'm very, this month I was very courageous. I don't even know. Mad. Weird to want to do 3 pairs of socks. And the reason I did was because the Handmade Sock Society had started in May the 4th. My Bakery Bears Summer of Stitches started with the Beachcomber sock. So of course I naturally wanted to do that. And then I had my regular May socks. Going forward, I want to finish my May socks completely this month. And these other 2 will just get done when they get done. I'm not in a rush to do them because I will be casting on a pair of socks in June for our sock of the month. Now, I am waiting to see what the Handmade Sock Society June sock is going to be before I decide if that's the one I want to do or if there's another one I want to do. But I mean, regardless, I've got lots of lovely sock patterns, some free, some paid for, in my Ravelry account that I want to do. And then of course I will have all these new socks from the Handmade Sock Society, and it doesn't matter to me which or how when I do them, they will get done. But I was very anxious to cast on those 2 as well as my May socks. That's why I decided to do 3. Anyway, those will get done when they get done. The other thing I worked on this week in a bag that I got from Kay Jones of Craft House Magic. Not Kay Jones, Ellie Jones. You see, there's too many of them Joneses girls out there that knit and sew. This is a yarn that I dyed up on 100% merino. This one is in the shop. This is called Ontario Spring, and it's the color of that. I got that idea for all the daffodils at up in Ottawa at the Tulip Festival. Did I say daffodils? I did, didn't I? The tulips from the Tulip Festival at the in Ottawa, and I paired with it this lovely sky blue. Again, haven't put this one in the shop. If you think I should, comment below and I will. I can do it on a sock base, on the BFL base, or on this 100% merino. I wouldn't recommend you make socks out of the 100% merino. It's more for cowls, shawls, against the skin stuff, gloves, mitts, that kind of stuff. But anyway, I am making with this the crochet Hexigon cardigan. So this is crochet, and this is kind of one that I've done, and this is supposed to be for me, and I wanted it in the fingering weight. Normally you would be making this cardigan, you can do it in anything, but normally you would be doing it in a DK or a worsted weight because it would go faster. The stitches are bigger, you'd use a bigger hook. I'm using a 4mm hook. So this, being finger weight, is taking forever because you're going, it's a hexagon that we're working on, and we're going around and around and around and around. And I'm doing 2 of the blue and 2 of the multicolor, 2 of the blue, 2 of the multicolor. And because there's blue in the multicolor, it's hard for you to actually see, which I kind of like, the distinct, you can't see the distinct rows. So it kind of all blends into one, but there's more blue, obviously. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I really, really am enjoying. They're just clusters, they're granny square clusters. And the point is that you're supposed to fold it in half like this. And this is one side, or this, whichever way you want it. You will sew these together at the top, graft them together. And then this is an arm, and this is the body. Now, obviously I have a long way to go to make it my size. And then you would, if you didn't want the sleeve to end like that, actually I don't have that much to go really. If you didn't want, if you wanted the sleeve to stay like that, a short sleeve, then you would just leave it like that. But you can add more and taper it down and do a cuff or a long cardigan. And then of course, if you didn't want it to be a short cropped cardigan, which this would finish at, again, you would sew them together and then make it longer. So then after a while I was thinking, I don't even know if I want to make this for me now. I'm fed up. Maybe I'll make this for my granddaughter, Evie, because that would be her size. I can just start the other side and make it for Evie. So I actually did start the second side. So that's as far as I've got on the second side. And again, look how cute they would. This could be a newborn or doll's cardigan. But then as I was making it, I thought, no, I still really want it for me because it will make a lovely, cool, and I'm not in a rush. Like, so what if it takes me all summer to make it? I'm not in a rush. So, and I thought if I do the second one to catch up to this one, and then do a couple of rows on both, by the time I'm really fed up with it, it'll be time to join them together to make the cardigan. So that was my plan on that one. So that's my crochet cardigan. And I do find it a lot of fun crocheting it on the way to the trailer because I don't have to think. You're just going, you're not following a pattern. You just keep going round and round to make it bigger. Anyway, the last thing I worked on this week was my Scrappy V cardigan, which is in a bag I made that never really did anything with. And I am loving this so much. I am using 20-gram minis that I purchased last year from Ellie of Craft House Magic, Ellie Jones, from the bag. And this, I collected these all year round, used some of them to make myself an advent last Christmas, and made a really nice cowl from her pattern. And this cardigan pattern, it's a V-neck t-shirt. You could use one single bunch of like color if you wanted, which I might do later because I really am enjoying this, or you can use it scrappy. But here it is, and I really, really love it. It's going to be gorgeous when it's finished, and it's all fingering weight. There is the back, and we did all the lovely German short rows to get the pattern with the V at the front like that, if you can see that, and all the way down. And I tried, each month I got 5 colors from Ellie. So I believe the top ones are October. So these 5 were October. I don't remember what the middle ones all were, but these bottom ones I think are July. I forget what the middle ones were. But so this is the one I'm working on now, which I love this color. And let me see if I can put it this way. So this one had the orange speckles in and the green, and this one had the blue speckles in. So I am working, and now I'm just on the plain orange, and then I will have this color after that, which is orange and green. Then I'll have the green, and then I'll have the blue, and I might be at that point ready to do the waistband at the bottom, because it's getting quite long now, but I do like a longish cardigan or sweater. If I stand up, I don't know if you can, it's about at my belly button. So if I'm adding 4 more colors, and I'm trying to do 9 rows, 9 rounds, then it should come to my hip at that point, and then I'll be ready to do the waistband in the rib. I'm not sure if I'll do that in the blue, or because I don't have any more of this color left, because I used almost all of that for the neck. But anyway, we'll see. But that's how that's coming, so really enjoying that one. I don't know how much knitting I'm going to get done while my dad's here, of course, because most days we're going to be going out and doing stuff, and in the evenings we'll be going out for dinner. He loves going out for dinner, and so I might get some stuff done. I will definitely be taking my knitting with me to New York City, because we're going on the train, and I'll be able to sit on the train for a few hours. So I'll probably take some socks, because they're nice and small to take with me. But yeah, so who knows what will happen when you see me next time. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all in 2 weeks with lots more to tell you. I probably will post a few things on my Tobyknits and Friends page. If you're not a member of that yet, go join. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.